My boy Landum actually did this before I did, so go check that out real quick. This is just sort of my take on some of my favorite overpowered characters, and least favorite, as you'll see in a minute. Starting off strong with Madara. He is probably the biggest menace in the entire Naruto universe next to maybe Kakashi or Obito. Combined with his shutting on ability, and for the first part of when he's brought back, considering he's reanimated, he can spam any attack he likes because he's reanimated, meaning he has infinite chakra and infinite withstandability. But even with all of that, he's still ridiculously powerful just on his own. He was able to summon the nine-tailed fox during a fight with Hashirama. He completely soloed entire armies and took down tailed beasts all by himself. He was basically unstoppable. It's a little ironic how he died. He died in a very simple way because whereas he was originally manipulating people, he died because the person he thought he was manipulating was actually manipulating him for someone else, because Kageyama was originally manipulating Obito, which was originally manipulated. Madara also by far has one of the most scariest and intense themes in the entire Naruto universe. He can basically disrespect anybody in the Naruto universe, including the 5 Kage, some of the most powerful people in all the nations.
Would you prefer for all of these clones to use Susanoo against you, or not? They'll use it.
Sticking with the Naruto universe, we're going to talk about Hidan real quick. I actually kind of hate Hidan and Kakuzu. They're my least favorite of the 10.
You what?
Hold on. They are the coolest characters, but as far as the duo goes, I don't like them that much because frankly, they're just sort of overpowered. Hidan never gets any screen time, or character development, or backstory. He gets all of it in Boruto Next Generations, funny enough, after he's dead. And that's something to think about real quick. He doesn't actually ever technically die, so I think it'd be kind of cool if somebody dug him up in the Boruto universe and like put him back together so he could see how the world's changed after he's gone. But that's just me. Maybe that's an idea for the future, or a fan film or something. Hidan's power is that he basically just physically can't die. He's part of a cult thing that made him immortal. Again, they don't explain that, so whatever. But effectively, you can shoot, stab, burn, explode him, do whatever you want to do. He's pretty much immortal and invincible and can just be sewn back together remarkably quickly. Also incredibly funny, which makes him one of my favorite characters, but I just don't like him as an Akatsuki member or a duo. And he even enters the show like a menace. This is his opening scene. Just watch this.
Ow, that hurts. Who are you people?
Saitama's always talked about. I don't blame anybody for it. Obviously, he's the perfect representation of an overpowered character because that's how he's written, which is why I hate people when they complain about the power cliffing. It's clearly the point of the show. The point of Saitama is to show that it's more about determination and side characters than about his actual power. He never has a fight where he can't win. And it's cool to see the side characters around him struggle to keep up. It creates an interesting dynamic because the show is almost carried by the side characters at times, whereas Saitama's incredibly lovable, obviously.
Disgust me. Get lost.
What's with the attitude from this lost child?
I guess technically they do explain how Saitama got his powers in his own words.
100 sit-ups, 100 push-ups, then a 10-kilometer run!
Saitama's entire deal is that he's a hero just for fun. He doesn't want to be an S-tier hero. He doesn't want to beat everybody. He wants a worthy fight because it's fun. That's all he cares about. And whereas he's not necessarily he just like me for real character. Obviously, nobody can relate to that. He's still fun because he's human. He's more human than the other superheroes in that universe because they all put themselves above the average person. Whereas Saitama is literally just an incredibly strong average Joe. It's kind of the same deal with Mob, actually. Kind of excited to talk about this because I've been binging this new season a lot. Peak, by the way, I absolutely love this season. Mob was basically gifted the powers of an actual, like, psychic god when he was a kid, and instead of using them to cause chaos and destruction, he's just kind of a simp.
With me.
I can't. I have to head home.
You'll be popular.
Okay, let's go then.
Become G-O-D!
Muscles.
His power is controlled by his rage, or I guess his emotions, where if he sees things like his parents dead or something, he gets incredibly upset and it charges up. But honestly, his power takes a backseat to his character, because his character is such a lovable and funny kind of just kid everybody can relate to in a way. Mob Psycho also has a really great supporting cast of characters between Reagan and Dimple. They just really always help sell the show.
You head on! Self-defense rush!
Mob Psycho is one of my favorites because it's so simple. Between the comedy of the villains and just the dynamic of the heroes, there's really no overarching villain at all, so you never feel like there's that much of a threat. When Mob Psycho met his match in this most recent season, you still never really felt bad for him because you never took it that seriously. Even though, granted, this last season I've been more invested than I ever have in the show. Omni-Man kind of steals the show in Invincible, which is understandable because he's kind of the father of the main character, no surprise there. The thing about Omni-Man is that he's the biggest threat in the universe, isn't actually kind of scary because nothing they can do in their entire universe can stop. He literally casually wipes out an entire world of other aliens just because they pissed him off. He can casually kill kaijus and he doesn't ever hesitate either. The entire team of Earth's mightiest heroes, the like 7 or whatever, tried to take him down and they couldn't do more than a few scratches on him. I'm going to try and keep this one about Gojo brief because everybody always talks about how powerful Gojo is, and that's understandable. He's pretty much the strongest character in his universe, which is kind of why I don't like him. He has a literal infinity around him, making him invincible, and he can clap pretty much any villain. I know in the manga at some point there's actually characters that can counter him, and there's something with like a box that steals his power or something, but again, I'm not a manga reader. And that's kind of part of the reason why Gojo is my least favorite character out of everybody in the show.
Shut your
As funny and as quirky as he is, it's just no fun when characters like Itadori have to actually struggle and learn, and he's just casually sitting on top, and there's nothing really to fear when they know that no matter how badly they're losing the battle, the minute Gojo shows up, it's just over. And let's be real, you can't tell me that fight between Gojo and that chef wasn't racially motivated.
That's gotta be racist. There's no way.
That being said, there's nothing wrong with having overpowered characters like all the ones I've talked about. I'm sorry if this video feels a little bit rushed, but I've been working non-stop all day on this, which is a lot more time than I usually put into these casual shitposts of mine. With any luck, this is uploaded by tonight. I don't really know what time it'll be by the time this finally gets out, but I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you next week.